What if I told you the secret to rebuilding leg strength and reclaiming the energy and stability you thought was gone? Wasn't found in a weight room, but right in your evening routine? Recent scientific discoveries are challenging everything we thought we knew about aging and strength. It turns out that one specific food, when eaten at the right time, can dramatically revive the connection between your nerves and muscles in as little as 12 hours. A groundbreaking 2023 study from the Journal of Clinical Nutrition revealed that when adults over 50 consumed a nutrient-dense food in the evening, they saw powerful surges in muscle repair and cellular energy by the very next morning. Not just any energy. This was mitochondrial and neuromuscular energy, the kind that keeps your legs strong, stable, and full of stamina. Here's a truth that most people don't hear. Leg strength doesn't fade just because of age. It fades because your muscles stop receiving the signals they need. And this is often caused by chronic low-level inflammation, undernourished nerve cells, and disrupted sleep cycles, not the number of candles on your last birthday cake. This episode will dive into how a common, accessible food, used strategically, can reactivate your body's natural systems for strength and coordination. For decades, we assumed that muscle loss came primarily from atrophy, the shrinking of muscle tissue due to disuse. But neuroscience tells a different story, one that offers more hope. It turns out much of the muscle you think you've lost isn't gone. It's just disconnected. By your 40s, the motor neurons that connect your brain to your leg muscles begin to degrade. This doesn't mean the muscles are damaged. They're simply not getting the message to contract and engage. A study from the University of Calgary found that many older adults with weaker legs still had the structural potential for strength. The problem wasn't the muscle, it was the signal. That means we can bring these muscles back online, not by building new tissue, but by restoring the conversation between your brain and your body. Your spinal cord acts as the command center for these messages, but it needs specific nutrients to keep the lines of communication clear. Think of your muscles as a skilled crew waiting for instructions, and your nervous system as the foreman holding a megaphone. If the batteries in that megaphone are low, nothing happens. But recharge it and suddenly the whole system kicks back into gear. And that's where nutrition becomes powerful. Specific nutrients, especially amino acids, B vitamins, and acetylcholine precursors, can rapidly improve neuromuscular signaling. One amino acid in particular stands out: leucine. Leucine is an essential amino acid, meaning your body can't make it. You must get it from food. But it does far more than just nourish. Leucine acts as a molecular switch, telling your body it's time to repair and grow muscle. Research shows that leucine activates a key cellular pathway called mTOR, which acts like a control tower for muscle protein synthesis. A 2011 study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that even a single meal rich in leucine could stimulate this repair pathway. Especially important because aging muscles become less responsive to growth signals. Leucine helps override that resistance. But here's the catch. It's not just about eating more protein. Many people consume enough protein to prevent muscle breakdown, but not enough of the right kind to trigger new growth. That's why both the type and timing of your protein intake matter. A powerful strategy? Start your day with a leucine-rich meal. Eggs, beef, chicken, and especially whey protein provide high levels of leucine. Just 25 to 30 grams of quality protein, containing around 2.5 grams of leucine, can flip your muscle building switch. For the most efficient option, whey protein isolate is hard to beat. It's fast absorbing, clean, and provides the ideal leucine profile. And remember, timing matters. Your circadian rhythm plays a major role in how effectively your body uses these nutrients. Eating this kind of protein in the evening can actually supercharge overnight muscle repair, syncing perfectly with your body's natural regeneration window. So before you assume your legs are getting weaker because of age, ask yourself this: is your nervous system still using the muscle you already have? Often, strength loss is more about miscommunication than deterioration. And the good news? That can be fixed. Starting tonight. If this message resonates, consider subscribing. This channel is here to help you transform modern science into practical strength, one insight at a time. Athletes and increasingly clinicians working with older adults are now turning to this nutrient timing approach to quickly restore muscle function. But this strategy isn't just about recovery, it's about reconnection. Because what happens in your brain and muscles after consuming leucine-rich protein goes beyond simple growth. It's about communication. You're re-establishing a biochemical conversation between your nervous system and muscle fibers. And the faster that conversation resumes, the faster your legs begin to feel stable, strong, and alive again. Now, Let's look at the second critical piece of this puzzle: acetylcholine. This powerful neurotransmitter is what tells your muscles to move. Without it, even the strongest muscles can feel sluggish or unresponsive. And here's the good news. There's a specific food that restores acetylcholine more efficiently than many supplements. Every time you decide to stand up, take a step, or rise from a chair, your brain sends a signal. But that signal doesn't jump straight to your muscles. First, it's translated into a chemical messenger, acetylcholine. This is the molecule responsible for neuromuscular transmission, the exact mechanism that transforms thought into movement. Without enough of it, muscles can misfire, delay, or fail to respond altogether. This becomes more critical as we age, because both acetylcholine production and receptor sensitivity decline, especially in the motor neurons that control the legs. But here's where science gets exciting. Choline, the nutrient precursor to acetylcholine, has been shown to rapidly restore signaling. A 2012 review in Nutrients found that increasing dietary choline could boost acetylcholine production in as little as 6 to 12 hours, particularly when the brain is actively engaged in movement planning. So what's the best food source for choline? Eggs, especially the yolks. Just 2 whole eggs contain over 300 milligrams of choline, more than enough to help replenish your nervous system's communication tools. This isn't just a nutritional detail, it's a functional protocol. If you often feel your legs are slow to respond, or if you've noticed tremors, instability, or reduced strength when standing or walking, try this. Eat 2 whole eggs within 30 minutes of waking, ideally with a leucine-rich protein like whey or cottage cheese. Why the morning? Because motor neurons are most receptive to nutrient input early in the day, and acetylcholine synthesis tends to dip after sleep. Giving your body what it needs when it needs it most sets the stage for improved coordination, balance, and strength. Have you ever felt more grounded and confident after a protein-rich breakfast? That's not your imagination. It's your central nervous system functioning with greater precision. Choline isn't just supporting muscle, it's upgrading the communication line between your brain and your legs. And if you're plant-based, don't worry. Soybeans, Brussels sprouts, and quinoa also offer choline, though eggs provide the most readily absorbed form. And here's something even more fascinating. Acetylcholine doesn't only power movement, it plays a crucial role in focus, learning, and memory. So when you restore this chemical messenger, you're not just helping your legs, you're enhancing cognitive clarity as well. Next, we'll explore another vital link in this chain: blood flow. Picture trying to grow a garden, but the hose is kinked. No matter how fertile the soil or how much sunlight you get, your plants won't thrive without water. This is exactly what happens inside your muscles, especially in your legs, when blood flow is restricted or inefficient. As we age, the arteries and capillaries that feed our lower limbs often narrow or lose elasticity. This limits oxygen delivery, nutrient transport, and waste removal, all essential to muscle function and recovery. Even with great protein and regular movement, poor circulation can silently sabotage your progress. The molecule responsible for helping blood vessels relax and expand is nitric oxide. This gas is produced in your endothelial cells, the inner lining of your blood vessels, and it tells them when to open wider to let more blood through. Here's the kicker. Nitric oxide production is heavily influenced by your diet, and one of the most powerful natural boosters? Beets. Raw beets or beetroot juice are rich in dietary nitrates, which your body converts into nitric oxide. A 2015 study in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that older adults who drank beetroot juice experienced measurable improvements in leg muscle power within hours. This was especially true in the fast-twitch muscle fibers, key players in balance and fall prevention. This isn't a minor upgrade. Improvements were observed in walking speed, stair climbing, and chair stand performance, real-world outcomes that impact independence. Here's a simple protocol. Drink 250 to 300 milliliters of beet juice or eat 1 to 2 medium beets about 90 minutes before physical activity. That gives your body time to convert nitrates into nitric oxide and kickstart circulation. Want to supercharge the effect? Add 20 minutes of light movement like walking, cycling, or stretching. Movement boosts nitric oxide production, especially when your system is already primed with dietary nitrates. And don't stress about sugar. Beets have a relatively low glycemic load, and the benefits far outweigh any temporary spike. You can also pair them with protein or fiber-rich greens to moderate blood sugar. If you found this information helpful, consider subscribing. Each video delivers science-backed, real-life tools to help you feel stronger, sharper, and more in control. And we're not done yet. Up next, we'll uncover one of the most overlooked culprits behind muscle decline, chronic inflammation, and the food group that can cool this invisible fire that weakens your legs from the inside out. You may not feel it directly, but chronic inflammation is there, like a low, constant hum beneath the surface. Unlike the obvious swelling and pain of acute injury, chronic inflammation is subtle and systemic. Over time, it chips away at your muscle function, particularly in your legs. Research shows that even mild chronic inflammation can impair muscle strength, coordination, and recovery. A 2020 study in the Journals of Gerontology found that higher levels of inflammation markers like C-reactive protein, CRP, and interleukin-6, IL-6, were strongly linked to reduced muscle mass and strength in older adults, even among those who were physically active and eating well. So what exactly happens inside your body? Inflammation disrupts muscle protein synthesis, increases oxidative stress, and damages mitochondrial function, the very engines that fuel your strength. It also interferes with nerve-to-muscle signaling, so even if your muscle is intact, the on switch doesn't always work as it should. Here's the good news: one of the most effective tools to reduce this hidden inflammation doesn't come in a pill, it comes from your plate. Head to your produce drawer and you'll find one of the most powerful science-backed tools for fighting chronic inflammation. Dark leafy greens. Think spinach, kale, arugula, Swiss chard, and mustard greens. These aren't just nutrient-dense, they're anti-inflammatory powerhouses. They're packed with polyphenols, chlorophyll, magnesium, and nitrate compounds, all of which help your body regulate inflammation more effectively. 1 polyphenol, in particular, quercetin, found in abundance in kale and mustard greens, has been shown to directly inhibit inflammatory cytokines like IL-6 and TNF-alpha. A 2019 study published in Frontiers in Pharmacology found that consistent intake of quercetin-rich foods can reduce inflammation markers within just 2 to 4 weeks, especially when combined with moderate physical activity. Here's a simple research-backed protocol. Include at least 1 packed cup of dark leafy greens with your first meal of the day. Why the first meal? Because it helps establish a baseline for your inflammatory response, aligning with your circadian rhythm, the internal clock that controls immune and hormonal cycles. To maximize nutrient absorption, pair your greens with a healthy fat like olive oil or avocado. Add a squeeze of lemon or a splash of apple cider vinegar to enhance digestion and nutrient uptake even further. It's important to understand that these foods don't work like a painkiller. You won't feel a dramatic change overnight, but over time, often within 10 to 14 days, you may notice less soreness, quicker recovery, steadier energy, and a stronger sense of control in your legs. This is the moment where nutrition becomes more than just fuel. It becomes a message to your immune system saying, "We're safe. You can power down." In our next section, we explore something even more overlooked: meal timing. Specifically, how when you eat can either enhance or hinder your body's ability to rebuild strength, particularly in the legs. When it comes to regaining muscle and mobility, what you eat is only part of the equation. The timing of your meals may be just as crucial, especially as you age. Every time you consume protein, you trigger a process called muscle protein synthesis, MPS. This is the body's way of saying, let's repair, let's grow. But here's the challenge. As we get older, that signal becomes harder to trigger. It's a condition known as anabolic resistance. Your muscles simply become less responsive to dietary protein. This means that even if you're eating what seems like enough protein, your body may not be efficiently using it to rebuild muscle, especially if all that protein is crammed into one big meal late in the day. So what's the solution? Research shows that spreading your protein intake evenly across meals, beginning with breakfast, significantly improves muscle maintenance and growth. A 2014 study from the University of Texas found that participants who consumed roughly equal amounts of protein at breakfast, lunch, and dinner had 25% higher muscle protein synthesis rates compared to those who consumed most of their protein at dinner. That's a major difference, and it's especially relevant for maintaining strength in the lower body. In practical terms, this means you should aim for about 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein per meal with a strong start in the morning. This consistent signaling helps overcome anabolic resistance and supports better muscle function throughout the day. Why is meal timing so important? Because each protein-rich meal acts as a separate signal to your muscles, stimulating growth and keeping that biological conversation active throughout the day. And there's more. Eating within 30 to 60 minutes after light exercise or walking can significantly amplify this effect, particularly in older adults. This is known as the anabolic window, a period when your muscles are more sensitive to nutrients, and more efficient at absorbing amino acids to rebuild and repair tissue. Here's a simple, actionable protocol to take advantage of this insight. Step 1. Aim for 30 grams of high-quality protein at your first meal of the day. That could be 3 eggs with sautéed spinach and lentils, or a Greek yogurt bowl topped with hemp seeds and berries. Step 2. After any kind of movement, whether it's a walk, a stretch, or some light resistance training, eat a meal or snack that combines protein with complex carbohydrates within an hour. This could be a smoothie with protein powder and a banana, or a plate of quinoa, beans, and olive oil. The carbs help stimulate insulin, which in turn improves the delivery of amino acids to your muscles. Step 3. Avoid protein stacking. At dinner, it may be tempting to load up in the evening, but your muscles can only use so much protein at one time, typically 30 to 40 grams. The rest is either used for energy or stored. By spreading your protein intake evenly and aligning it with physical activity, you're not just nourishing your body, you're sending a message: stay strong, stay active, stay alive. And that brings us to the big takeaway. Muscle isn't just about mobility. It's a living metabolic organ that protects your vitality. Rebuilding leg strength isn't a fantasy. It's a physiological reality that begins when you learn to work with your body's systems instead of against them. Let's recap the 6 science-backed insights we've covered. First, nitric oxide is the molecule that drives blood flow to your muscles, delivering oxygen and nutrients precisely where they're needed. Beets, particularly in juice or powder form, can significantly enhance nitric oxide production, improving performance and recovery in just hours. Second, your endothelium, the inner lining of your blood vessels, relies on foods rich in nitrates, polyphenols, and antioxidants to function optimally. Third, your fast-twitch muscle fibers, which are critical for balance and strength, are the first to decline with age, but they're also highly responsive to blood flow, nutrition, and neural activation. Fourth, the gut-muscle connection means your digestion directly impacts your strength. Beetroot, in particular, affects gut microbes in ways that enhance communication between your brain and muscles. Fifth, your meal timing, especially around movement, can help you bypass anabolic resistance and maximize muscle protein synthesis. Finally, the common thread in all of this is simple. Your body is built to adapt and regenerate. The key is providing the right inputs, nutrients, timing, and movement at the right times. So here's your next step. Simple, clear, effective. Tomorrow morning, start your day with a beetroot-based smoothie. Add a source of protein like Greek yogurt or a plant-based alternative. Then go for a 15-minute walk right after drinking it. This primes your blood vessels, triggers nitric oxide release, and initiates the muscle signaling process. Within 30 to 60 minutes, have a protein-rich breakfast. You'll be aligning your body's natural systems to activate strength and recovery from the inside out. This isn't just about stronger legs, it's about momentum. Because the science is clear. Even small interventions, a single nutrient, a short walk, a well-timed meal, can lead to measurable improvements in how your body performs and, more importantly, in how you feel. Your legs are more than a means of getting from point A to point B. They are a mirror of your overall metabolic health and resilience. As you apply these tools day by day, you'll begin to notice something deeper. It's not just that your legs feel stronger. It's that you feel stronger, more energized, more stable, more capable, more you. Try this one protocol. See what changes. And if this video helped you view your body and potential differently, consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. This community is here to support you not just in surviving, but in thriving with real evidence-based tools that empower your body, your mind, and your life. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.